Hi everyone, it's Rita from Miss Rita to the Rescue. I want to just adjust this a little bit. It's Wednesday morning, and for me it's day 13 of this social distancing and isolation. And I have been working on doing my sewing. I just got news yesterday from the community leader that the post office in our neighboring town is in need of 80 face masks. So thankfully Jean Ahern has been sewing along with me in Peabody, and so she's got, I think, 24 already made, and I think I can finish off the 80 by the end of today and get them over to the post office. It's people like that you don't really think about, like needing the protection, but you know that they are still working here in the state because they're considered essential. And there's a lot of people that I don't know if you might not think about. Good morning, Felicia. You might not think about, but they are essential. People that are doing work for the nursing homes, rehabs, post office, people doing deliveries, stuff like that. So, you know, they need masks as well because they're going to be grocery store people. And so, you know, we can work with them and try to get them covered. I don't know when this is all going to end. Good morning, Felicia. And I know everybody's starting to get pretty tired of it, and there's a lot of stuff in the news about going back to work and getting the country back to work. But frankly, I don't see that happening here, at least not in Massachusetts, maybe in places where they have less people that are affected. But we're up to, I think maybe 1,000 people so far. I don't know that, and we've had several deaths already in Massachusetts. So we're just going to stay in, except for things that we must do. And with that, I wanted to tell you something. I was diagnosed with cancer last week, and I am going today to see some cancer specialists and do a consult on on my condition or treatment or whatever. So I wanted to tell you, I was kind of holding off to tell you because I wanted to know what the treatment plan was and to know how I'm going to be able to continue to do this work. I think I will be able to do it. Maybe there'll be some times like today that I have to leave the house and that I have to maybe go in for treatments and stuff. Thank you, Felicia. Thank you. It's so wonderful to have people that care about you. So, you know, I don't know if you know this about me, but I am a single mother. I don't have a partner to help me through, so that's why I'm so thankful for you all. And my sister, who's the best sister anybody could ask for, who's going to go with me today for the consultation. I haven't yet told my son. He doesn't follow me here, so there's no chance of him knowing. He, as if you didn't know, is on the spectrum. He's autistic. He's 14. And this is a challenge for him. This social isolation is a challenge for him. He's got a great care team. He's got a great two skills trainers and teachers, social workers, and counselors. And so he's been checking in with them, but he's still showing some signs of distress. And as this goes on, because we have another 2 weeks of this at least, I'm worried about his mental health. So I haven't told him. I plan on telling him after I get the definitive answer on what the treatment's going to be. And I have talked with a number of friends who have either had personal experience or have a friend that went through it, or a few friends that are actually doctors. So I have a lot of really good input, and I'm confident about it. And I don't want it to stop me in any way, but I realize that I might have to slow down a little bit. And so I'm gonna, just follow the lead on those people. But anyway, I wanted to come today, not to talk about me, but to tell you a few things that I've noticed in Cricut Design Space, and some really good things. I know there's a lot of people that are really excited about sending cards, and especially now that a lot of us are home and we're like kind of trying to keep ourselves busy. If you are able to get your hands on a Joy, I know not all of you are, but the Joy, I wanted to show you all of these cards because they were kind of putting them in different places, and this morning I found that they've actually put them all, I think they're all, at least it looks like it, are listed, at least the cards are listed under cards, and you can access this just so you can see from your blank design space. Yeah, that's all I'm trying to do, Felicia, is to keep myself busy, keep my hands moving, keep my brain occupied. I was up this morning at 3:30, and I figured, and I'm coming on here early this morning, I know, but it's best for me to keep working, and it's not avoidance, but rather to keep working so that I feel like I have a purpose. So thanks, Felicia. Okay, so anyway, getting back to the Joy card. So if you are in your design space and you're, just at the new, you're not looking at any projects, to find all of these Joy cards, you can go to projects, which is right here. And what's great is that, yes, all the projects, this is all the categories that come up, and you can find a few of these cards, quite a few of these cards there. But one of the things that I was struggling with last week was I was sending people to the free for the Cricut Joy. Now, some of the projects are there, and some of the cards are there as well, but I was curious why they weren't populating this with the cards. And so I did ask Cricut, and I'm sure other people have said something too. And so I found this morning that if I go to cards, if I do from the project section, and this is all categories, and I choose cards, then I get all of these cards that are for the Joy. Okay, and there's quite a few. So there's like 5 on a row. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So at least 27, and obviously adding. So 27, 27 times 5. So what's that? 100, 170? Guys, do the math for me. 27 times 5. 20 times 5 is 100, and 7 times 5 is 35, 135. So there's 135 choices, and they have all of these wonderful choices, including things like quinceañeras, which is the 15th birthday party for people who are Hispanic, Latino, as well as there's holiday ones, there's retirement. So holiday, I see a Thanksgiving, just a blanket happy holidays, Halloween, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Easter, Valentine's Day, and then all graduation, Hanukkah, and then there's just love and thank you and gratitude and happy graduation. I might have said that already. And birthdays, of course, lots of birthday stuff. And remember, these are for the joy. Now, not all of these are available yet as artwork to make them for your Explorer or your Maker, but it's easy to create a card using some of this type of thing. And you can go to different places to find them. These are obviously the Cricut Joy ones. So if you don't have a Joy, if you went to go cut it, just to show you, if you go to cut it to make it, it's going to put it on, and these are not customizable yet. I don't know if they'll plan on customizing them, but they're not customizable yet. So right now I'm connected to my Joy, even though it's in the other room. So if I wanted to cut this on my Joy, I would be using the card mat, and I'd be using those insert cards, and it would cut on the insert cards. So there's no real way to kind of backtrack and customize these like you can do with other cards, but you can create your own card and still do this sort of thing with the tabs, so you don't have any glue. And I found a few here. First of all, we did have some that were in free, and I don't know if they're still there. Oh, I'm in the wrong place, actually. Let me go back to my canvas. And if I go to images, and we did categories of free this week. I believe there are some here. Yes, here they are. So these are all set up to be cut on any machine, right? They're not set up just for Joy. If you're connected to the Joy, yes, of course, they would cut on the Joy. But if you wanted to make a card on your Explorer or your Maker with this type of artwork, it's pretty simple to do. You pick this artwork. I'm going to pick this one because I like it. And so you're going to pick this artwork, and it comes in at a size of just under 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. So let me show you how you would create a card around it. Because if you were to cut this on your Explorer, really there's no cutting around it to make the card, because that's already cut for you. Good morning, Mary and Danielle. Good morning. And so you have to create the cards around the artwork if you're going to cut on your Explorer or your Maker. And so let me show you how I do it. I'm sure there are other ways to do it, but this is how I do it, and it works for me. It works pretty well for me. So what I do is I go to Shapes, which is over here. Oh, that's wonderful. Your community, Joanne, Danielle saying putting together face mask making packages. Mine have not They haven't done that yet. And I have plenty of supplies, although I probably could use some elastic. So I'm going to check with them later on today, Danielle. Thank you for telling me that. I'm glad to see that that's happening, because a lot of people just didn't have the materials. And so hopefully they give you a pattern with it too. I wonder if they give you a pattern. I saw that they had sort of a pattern listed on YouTube. I'm going to check on that. Thanks, Danielle, for letting me know. So, okay, so we're going to be making a Joy type card on our Maker or our Explorer. So to do that, we need to import or need to place a square. And while we're at it, I'm not sure why this is a line. Oh, okay, I know why that's a line. So we're going to add a line as well. Let's ignore this line for a second. Now I'm going to change the color of this so that you can see what I'm doing better. So we need to resize this to be the size of an A2 card, which that's what this is, A2. So to resize it, we have to do the entire card, right? So we're going to unlock it. And then we're going to make this, let me just check. This one here is 5.2. Okay, so we're going to make the height 5.5. And we're going to make the width 8.5. That's because when it's in half, it will be the size of an A2 card, okay? So 8.5 in half is 4.25, and 5.5 is, it's basically a A2, 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of paper, and that you're cutting in half, right? That's how you come up with the A2 sizes. Now, we're going to also need to put a score line if you want a score line. If you don't want a score line, that's fine too. But I pulled in this line, and I'm just going to make it a little bit longer. Now, right now, it's no longer, it used to be that you'd go and you pull in a score line. But the reason why they changed it to a cut line is because you can turn it into a score line, or you should be able to turn it into a score line. I hope you're able to. No, I wonder why that's like that. Okay, that's a little weird because I want it to be score. Oh, I know why. That's because I'm on the Joy. I'm connected to the Joy, and it won't allow me to have a score line. Okay, that makes sense. I'd have to change it when I go, and maybe I can do that here. And maybe it will change it for me. Let's see, shapes. Yeah, that's right. Because I was connected to the Joy. It wasn't showing that I could do scoring because the Joy doesn't do scoring. So now that I am connected to my Maker, I will change this and I'll attach the score line. Now, halfway between 8.5 is 4.25, right? And so each of those squares represent 1 inch. So I put my little rectangle, the unscored rectangle, at the corner of here. And so I count over 1, 2, 3, 4, and then each of the gray lines represents a quarter. So I have it at exactly at 4.25. See that? And then I'm going to attach that score line, and I'm doing that over here at the bottom. Squirrel, I know that you can hear the dogs. I know. I don't know what they're barking at. It might be my contractor coming in. I don't know. So they just bark a lot. They're corgis, So let me just show you what we do now. So now we have a card with the score line. So we want to attach this artwork. And by the way, this artwork has both draw and cut here. So to attach it, we're going to send it to the front because otherwise it would appear in the back and you wouldn't be able to see. Okay, and we're going to sort of center it so that, particularly because we don't want these tabs to cut anywhere near those edges. So we have to make sure that it's squarely on the card, okay? Sorry. Yeah, definitely. My friend is here to walk him. So then we're going to attach the card all together, and we'll attach it here. And you'll notice that it turns those cuts by attaching it. It turns those cuts a different color, but it will cut out that way. One of the things that we'll also do, it maintains that drawing. So the UR and those underscore lines and the ampersand will all be done with drawing, and the rest will be cut out. And so when you go to make this, you do it this way. And again, this is attached to my maker, which is in the other room, so I'm not going to cut it. But this is how it would appear on your mat. No, this is for maker or for explore, not for joy. If you want to do the joy ones, those cards are pre-made for you, and you can find them at projects and then from projects cards. But this is the workaround for making a joy type card on a maker. And you'll notice that it does have the scoring, which you cannot do on the joy, but you can do on your maker and your explore. So if I go to send this to my machine, if I had my machine here or nearby, I would just go ahead to send it, and I would prepare a 12 by 12 mat with a sheet of probably 8.5 by 11 inch paper. And then what this will do is it will do the scoring first, then the writing, and then the cutting. So when we're originally putting our mat in, we have to have either the scoring wheel, or if you have the maker, the scoring wheel, or, and it's not going to show me because I don't have a Connect. But you're going to have to do the scoring wheel, or for cards, I always use my scoring stylus because I don't want to swap out my wheel. If I'm doing something that's very heavy with scoring, which, by the way, we have a project coming up, we're going to make rosettes, and it's going to be done on the maker. I've been meaning to do it, and I got that beautiful Anna Griffith paper from the mystery box last week. So I want to show you how to make rosettes on the maker with that paper. It comes out beautifully, and it's just so beautiful. So I wanted to show you how to do that. That's going to come up later, and that will be for the maker, not the joy, because the maker uses the scoring wheel. And if you don't have a scoring wheel, you have an Explore, you can use a scoring stylus for it as well. So anyway, so this is how you create sort of the workaround for making cards that are joy-like, that don't require glue, that they have those tabs, but if you have an Explore or a maker machine. So again, just to kind of reiterate, you'd go to images, and under category, right now they're here under category free this week. But I'm hopeful that they'll be recategorized when this pandemic is over, because right now the free this week is actually free this month, and so these won't change for quite a while yet, and then they'll get recategorized, and you notice that they all have A's here. That means that they're Cricut Access. Okay, so this is where you'd go. You'd pick up whatever you wanted to. You Are My Sunshine, and you'd bring that in. Let's just get rid of that. And then you would make your card, do the shapes, choose a square and a score line, resize the square to be, unlock it first, and resize the square to be a width of 8.5, and a height of 5.5. Did I do that right? I can't see too well. I think that's right. Yeah. That's interesting that did I do that right? No, I didn't. I didn't do the height right. Okay, so 5.5. Oh, I know what happened. I didn't unlock it. Okay, 5.5, and the width is 8.5. Okay? You can change the color if you want to. Doesn't really matter, but for site purposes, I put my rectangle in a corner. I count over 1, 2, 3, 4 and a quarter with my score line, and then I attach it to my card. Then I bring my artwork, which I have to send to the front, position it so that it will cut out perfectly on that card. Move it slightly, and then attach it, and boom, you're done. Okay? So this is how you make those cards, those joy cards, okay? So that's it for today. I'm obviously, if you're just joining me, I have a consult later this morning, so I'm going to be off doing that, and then I'll be coming back to do some more sewing, and also preparing a couple of projects for people. Like, as I mentioned, the rosettes. I do still also have to give away some of my essentials. I still have quite a few of those I have to give away, but I've just been so busy. So I'm going to come up with a plan for that today so that we can do the giveaways. And I think that is it for this morning. Thank you for joining me so early in the morning. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and that you'll join me again tomorrow when we do another great Cricut project. And thanks, everyone, and make it a great day, okay? Take care.